Why didn't you speak out?
Well,
you had a huge megaphone. People really listened to Alan Greenspan.
Well, I was aware a lot of these practices were going on. I had no notion of how significant they had become until very late. I didn't really get it until very late in 2005 and 2006.
And I don't think, you know, we're not in 1945 in Attlee's Britain where we are taking the commanding heights of the economy or anything like that. We are doing what regulators always have to do in conservative and liberal administrations when faced with major intractable insolvencies in the financial system. If you don't deal with that, the problem of fraud and loss just gets worse, and the losses that are incurred after insolvency are losses that fall on the taxpayer because they come against deposits that are insured. So one way or another, until we deal with this, the taxpayer's liability just gets bigger.
I only want to say to you that the capitalist system, the private enterprise system in the 19th century did a far better job of expressing that sense of compassion than the governmental welfare programs are today. The 19th century, the period which people denigrate as a high tide of capitalism, was a period of the greatest outpouring of eleemosynary and charitable activity that the world has ever known. And one of the things I hold against the welfare system most seriously is that it has destroyed private charitable arrangements which are far more effective, far more compassionate, far more person-to-person in helping people who are really, for no fault of their own, in disadvantaged situations.
These vaults, where the U.S. gold was stored, provide an excellent test of where the Depression originated. If the Depression had started in Europe or somewhere else in the world, the U.S. would have lost gold. More gold would have flown out of the country than came in. If, on the other hand, the Depression started in the United States, well, then the opposite would happen. More gold would come in from abroad as the effects of our Depression spread there than went out abroad. In reality, that is exactly what happened.
Figures recently which said that if you took all the money spent on poverty in the United States and divided it by all the poverty family, you come up with a figure of $32,000 per family. Now, the average poverty family apparently is not getting the $32,000. And so clearly someone in between the Treasury and those families is getting an awful lot of that money. And I think that if you simply eliminated the middleman, as they say in the commercials, that there'd be an awful lot of benefit both to the poor and to the taxpayers.
GDP doesn't tell you about what happens to the typical citizen. And this is an increasing problem because when you have growing inequality in society, you can have GDP going up, as it has been in the United States, but most people getting worse off. Not just poverty going up, but the median income, 50% or more of people getting worse off. So that's one example of a metric. We ought to know what's happening to the median person. It's very hard to find statistics about that across countries.